Melissa with the M Word. I'm just gonna sit here and talk to my camera and hope you can see me because again, I have it turned around and I don't really ever know where I am in the frame when I do that, and I gotta figure out how to figure that out. What I need is actual camera that I can still see myself in the little viewfinder on the side, because that would be great. Because my iPhone's best camera resolution is the back one, which means I can't see myself, which is probably also a good thing. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, and I've been homeschooling now for 2.5 years. I used to be in the corporate world. I'm working on my master's in accounting, and I have a bachelor's in business administration, and I did have a daycare for a while. And prior to being in the corporate world, I was a daycare teacher, and I taught anything from 0 to 4-year-olds. So that is me in a nutshell. But this is our homeschooling update. It is February, so it is 1 month into quarter 2, mid-February. And I am just showing you guys, so this is, if you watched my schedule with me, you saw that I took my planner and I totally filled out what we were gonna do. It's been going pretty good, actually. I just crossed off what we've done. We've added in some books. We're reading Greek myths from our history. We are reading world religions from our history as well. I just cross off when I do something. I cross off what we've done. We are a little behind on spelling. We're supposed to be on lesson spelling bee, lesson 2C, and I haven't done spelling. I will do it. Don't worry. I'm putting it down in front of me, and you guys probably can't see it, and I'm sorry. We're doing wonderful with sing-song poetry. We do that every day. That's not been a problem. We've been doing our Berenstain Bears. Last year, the Berenstain's Bear book that we got from Timberdoodle, I think that was free or half price. I can't remember. They did give it to me for either free or half price, but I do not remember which. Last year I just read it. I just opened it and read as we went. This year, when I planned, I went in and I looked at each page and I decided what page number more associated with where we were. So like on Monday, they had a Valentine's Day page that was pages 18 and 19. So that's what we read. And then, so next week we'll be reading pages 88 through 91. Which means it's probably towards the end of the book where they have the nature and science section. So I wanted to make sure we touched every single page without reading about the holiday that we're on too soon, or without reading about the season that we're in too soon. So I wanted to make sure the almanac part was spaced out properly. And so that's what I did. I went through and I made sure it was done right. This is the week we're on today. So the world religion books we've been doing great with our history. Now that I've got it figured out where we read every Monday, we're reading a history lesson. They also have the audiobook that if we're in the car, I just play the audiobook. When before, that's basically all we were doing is if we were in the car, I played the audiobook. So we're doing a lot better than that. We do History Hop on Tuesdays, and on Wednesdays we do the Osborne, and I'm just looking down at my binder, by the way, my calendar. On Wednesdays, we do the Osborne Book of Encyclopedia, the History Encyclopedia that comes with the suggested requirement for History Hop. It's working great for us. On Thursdays, we do sort of history project, whether it's the project suggested by History Quest or if it's just out of my History Figures book. It just kind of depends. And then on Fridays, we do the history copy work. I haven't been doing that. I don't know why. We just haven't been doing the copy work. But on Wednesdays, if I had fallen behind on my reading, I catch up on the reading, and then I let them look through the Osborne books. And then I have, though, added in the suggested book. So in the beginning of the History Hop, it suggests, in the beginning of the History Quest study guide, or I think it's called the study guide, they say in that week they have suggested readings to do. And I have started getting those from the library and reading them. So right now we're reading Greek myths. And I don't know if you caught one of my earlier ones. I was like, oh, this is a whole nother video. This is where I put this. I was so worried about adding the good and the beautiful to our homeschool because it's religious, and we are not necessarily religious homeschoolers. We occasionally go to church. My husband does not consider himself religious at all. I have no idea where I stand, but my husband and I did agree that we would let our children pick what they wanted to pick, and that we would expose them to as many options as they wanted to be exposed to. So in the good and the beautiful, I was kind of like, oh no, well maybe they're pushing Christianity, and my husband was kind of worried about it too, because he was raised Catholic, and for whatever reason, the way he was raised put a bad taste in his mouth about forcing religion on children. And I don't at all think that that's necessarily everybody's view or everybody's way of handling religion. Please don't think I'm hating on anybody. I'm just letting you know where I'm coming from. But because of that, he was like, I don't know, should we try it? And I went ahead and I went with the free version at first, and I was like, they barely mention it. They say God is good, God is beautiful, God loves me, like really basic things, like things that she's going to hear in everyday life anyways. So I was like, it should be okay. Let's just go ahead. And that's all I've ever found. In our secular history quest, I have barely noticed anything about Christianity itself yet. That might be in further books, because we're doing ancient times right now. They're really pushing like Greek mythology. Like my daughter is learning about Mother Earth, and they give the actual name, and I can't think of her name at the moment. And they show a picture of her like as Earth with a picture of her face as Mother Earth. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. My daughter the other day was asking me about, because one of the books that we read, I think it was the Greek Myths book that we're reading through, that is part of the suggested readings for History Quest. It was talking about how Mother Earth and Father, whatever their names are, I can't remember, and she can, and I can't, but they showed Mother Earth and the Father God as being the sky and the universe, and Mother God being the earth. And she was asking all kinds of questions, and I didn't have the answers to them, but Google did, and the rest of our Greek mythology book did, and she's loving it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with her learning this. I'm just pointing out that I find that secular teachings, sometimes I'm coming across that they are more religious in some ways, and I don't think that's wrong or bad. I'm just pointing it out. I love the good and the beautiful, even as a secular homeschooler, and I would hate for somebody else not to use it just because it's by a Christian. I think she's Mormon. But she's not pushing religion on anybody. I feel like in some ways it's as non-religious as it's literally. The good and the beautiful is less religious than my high school language arts class was, because I would have tests that say, what was the teacher or what was the author explaining, what part of the Bible was he talking about during this, was one of the questions once, and I failed it. I didn't go to church as a kid. I had no idea. I had no idea what part of the Bible the teacher was or the author was referring to in that chunk of the. I didn't know. Sorry, I'm rambling again. And I want people to know that not what we're doing isn't right for everybody. What we're doing isn't always right for us in a few months. I find it so important to try to find what works for your kid. We do 2 maths because my kid excels at math, and I want to make sure that we're touching all the bases for her. I want to make sure that she is got it. And if at any point it becomes too much or she starts hating doing it, we'll drop to 1. But right now she's loving it, and I would never want to take that away from her. But we do handwriting from the good and the beautiful. We do language arts from the good and the beautiful, and we do math from the good and the beautiful. We have had no problems with that. We do handwriting on Mondays and Thursdays. I haven't had any problems with that. We're still doing that. Spelling you see. Spelling, I don't know. I hate it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a perfectly good curriculum. It's me. It's me. I think it's me because I'm so itchy. I'm sorry. It's dry in the house and my hands are dry. I think it's because we have 2 small children, and it's really hard for Callie to sit down and write a spelling word when she's got her little brother trying to color on her page and an infant child, a toddler, baby child, whatever. She's 10 months, screaming and yelling and pulling, and it's just a lot. So we often skip it. I don't worry too much about it because I know the Good and the Beautiful Language Arts has spelling in it, and she's not going to miss anything out. Could her spelling be better if we were doing both? Absolutely. Am I concerned that she's not getting it done? No. It's fine. We are doing Math Alpha. We are still doing 3 of those a week. So we do 3, we do a lesson, we do a lesson review, and we do a test, and then repeat. So we're doing 5 lessons. We're doing a lesson and a half each week. So 5 pages. 5 pages. That's 5, not this. Sorry. Now that I have taken our science and made it more manageable for me, we are doing great. We don't always get to the experiment on Fridays, is what it is. But I always on Tuesday or Wednesday sometimes, read the chapter in the science book. We are having no problems with the building blocks of science since I have tweaked it for our homeschooling. We don't always do the copy work, but we often do. And we always watch the Magic School Bus episode that I have decided kind of goes with whatever. So this week we watched Play Is Ball. Last week we watched Inside Ralphie to go with our biology. And then next week next week I have Emily's Wonder Lab Bowling with Air. So, and then after that we do the Gets Charged one, which they've watched like 3 times now because it's Valentine's themed, and I made them watch it for Valentine's Day. It was suggested in History Quest to read the Osborne World Religion book, and I found it super awesome that it kind of touches on every religion. So we have been reading a page a day, 2 pages a day, so inside, front, back, basically. And then the next day I do the same thing again. I read the same thing over and over. I had it wrote down in here to read, pages 68 to 79. It's a lot of words on one little book, and I'm not staying consistent with that, but I am staying consistent with reading at least 1 to 2 pages a day out of the book. And it's teaching right now. We're reading about Hinduism. She's learning about that. These are things she should learn regardless. So I think it's perfectly fine for her. My husband was very set on that. He thinks that she should learn as many religions as possible. At first I thought he meant that he wanted like to do a Bible study a year and then like a Hindu study in a year. And I was like, how am I going to add that to all this? But that's not what he meant at all. He meant basically what the Osborne World Religions book is doing, and it's just touching on the religion. It's touching about what that religion views, what they think, how they like. I think it's a great add-on. And then we're still reading the Greek myth book that was from our Huggy, whatever, for History Quest, and we're still reading that, but I just add it on top of everything else we're doing. And then the Evan Moore books, there's 3 of them. There is history, there is the writing one, or not history, there's geography, writing, and something else that I can't think of. It's the one where it's like a logic type one. I have it wrote down that we do 1 page every day. And we might do 1 page 2 or 3 times a day, or 2 or 3 times a week. So we might do 1 page out of each book, or 1 book every 2 or 3 days. I'm not too worried about it. She is getting logic from the other things she's learning about. She's getting geography from other courses that we're going through right now. And she is definitely not lacking in any way, shape, or form in writing. So, we do it when we do it. I'm not concerned about it. I will still probably get the next one when I get the Timberdoodle book curriculum in 2nd grade. We're probably going to start deciding what we're going to do for 2nd grade here soon. I probably won't order until, probably June or July. The Good and the Beautiful usually has, or I don't know if the Good and Beautiful ever has any sales, but I know right now that they have a sale because they're redoing their language arts, so everything's discounted until they sell out. But I have their language arts K and language arts 1 already, so we'll do the new language arts for level 2. I believe they're still going to make that free too, so that is really awesome of them. I'll probably go ahead and order it, just because this is what happened to my math when I printed it, and it makes me sad. I really probably just should put it in a binder. that would have been easier than binding it myself. But I think everything's doing really good. Dad's still teaching safety lessons on Sundays or Saturdays, and everything's going really well. I'm going to probably have to go into March and erase everything and start over and get us where we actually are. I probably shouldn't have gone so far ahead. I did learn that I should not do quarterly. I should write it out by month. If I don't write it though, we don't do it. And if I do it, I won't write it later. So writing it has been the best bet for me. I just check it off when we're done. But I also know where we are. So right now I'm just checking off that we did it, versus crossing it out if we didn't. Well, I've been crossing it out. I don't do anything if we didn't do it. And then I just check mark it or cross it off if we've done it. That seems to be working better. And I think that's what I'm going to do going forward. Instead of writing down what lesson we should be on, I think I'm going to write in the like upper hand corner what lesson I would like to be on by the end of the week to keep me on track, rather than writing down every lesson in each day, and then I can just check it off better. Because right now, spelling says that we're supposed to be in spelling B on lesson 2, and I'm still in spelling A. And that's like math alpha, we're supposed to be on lesson 28 for math, but we're on lesson like 22. And then we're supposed to be on lesson 63 for language arts, and we're on like 55 or something like that. It's not that we're not doing it, it's just not every day. And so I had it wrote out that every day of the week we were going to do something, and it hasn't necessarily worked. My daughter got really sick in January, and she was down and out for 3 days. She wasn't even getting off the couch, eating nothing. So we didn't do anything those 3 days. I got really sick the following week, and I couldn't talk. So we didn't do a lot of our reading. And then she didn't do a lot of her work because I was exhausted. Me as a mom was not doing well, and being that sick, and so we lost almost 2 weeks, basically, is what I'm saying. Between the little ones being sick, her being sick, and I being sick, we lost almost 2 whole weeks right there. That's 14 days, 10 days of work. So the fact that we were supposed to be on lesson 63 and I'm on like 50, 54. But I think because of that, I'm going to do better about giving myself a little bit more grace and just writing where I want to be up in like the corner, or maybe in my notes section, I'll put what I want to get through, like what lessons I want to get through by the end of March. And then I'll just take off the actual lesson numbers, and then I can just cross off that we did it. I don't write it down, we don't do it. I'm still going to continue with the pages that I want to read for the Berenstain Bears book. I think that super helps me make sure that I don't miss reading about a holiday on a holiday or a season on a certain season. It also makes sure that I get the back of the book and the front, because I really love that book. I know she's probably starting to grow out of it, but we're going to read it until Emma grows out of it, in my opinion. And then here in April, so we have quarter 3 is going to be coming up soon. I have almost nothing in March planned out, but in April I went ahead and I put no school for the week prior to Easter, and then Easter Monday as well. And the reason for that is because I'm going to need time to clean. I host everything here. Easter's hosted here, and I need to be able to clean and get things ready, and I have 3 small children, and I need help cleaning. In May, I don't have anything planned. I know that we are going to end up going camping or something in June or July. We year-round homeschool too, so I use like May, June, and July as catch-up months to catch up on anything we may have fallen behind on. And then we start school in August for the new school year. I know typically everybody starts in September, but I start in August. And I think I'm going to continue that for 2nd grade. I might change my mind and start in September. I guess we'll see what I do. But we'll definitely start 2nd grade in either August or September. So that's kind of our update, school update, really long chat. If you have any questions for me or any suggestions for me, or maybe you have a better way of doing something that I haven't thought of. Please let me know in the comments. I really appreciate this community and how helpful you guys have been to me. I really appreciate that. If you haven't already, please subscribe and like, and I will see you in the next one.